Hi, I'm Jeff. This is Tropical Plants at 53 degrees north, and welcome to a new series that I'm going to do every month, and this is called What's in Bloom in fill in the blanks. And today it is What's in Bloom in March. We're at late March now, so let's get started. Okay, and we're in. So this is the inaugural What's in Bloom in March video, and we're going to have a look to see throughout the whole greenhouse really, and perhaps a little bit outside too, what's in bloom at this current moment of filming. And today it is the 28th, if I'm correct. I'm kind of, we're in lockdown at the moment. I'm kind of losing track of the days, all those little kind of barriers throughout your week that tell you, little markers that tell you what's the day and what you do on those particular days. That's all gone. So I've lost track. So it's actually Sunday today. And I'm going to try and get a What's in Bloom in March in today, and I'll probably do a What's in Bloom in April, probably about mid-April, because obviously lots of things are coming into bloom just now. Lots of promise of new spikes and new growth. So let's have a look anyway, and I'll tell you what I can about these things as we go around. So the first thing we're looking at here, this is Dendrobium nobile star class, and this is, we'll kind of do two at once here. This is, or was, a keiki from Mama Dendrobium nobile star class over there. You can see they're really nice flowers, but I don't know if the cold kind of makes them. You can see the lip at the middle, it's the labellum, isn't it, at the middle there. It does tend to kind of go brown quite early on if it's quite cold, and we've certainly had plenty of cold, and we're still getting nights down to 0 degrees Celsius. So that's Dendrobium nobile star class. I kind of like it. It's not my favourite. This is just a no ID Dendrobium nobile. Pushing it a bit by saying it's in bloom, but it's about to. Not a mass blooming. It did bloom quite late on last year, but there's 3 or 4 buds there. There's a couple of buds on this little tiny cane here, but I'm waiting for this. It was repotted not long since, so I'm waiting for this to send up some new growths. Again, pushing it a bit. This one is about to do its thing. This is, let's put this in front, Ada Aurantiaca variety punctata. It's a cold to intermediate. It's orange. Repotted it last in November 2019. I like to stay above 12 degrees C, but it is going for it at the moment. It's only a small one. I think it was a division. It's not grown a great deal over the couple of years that I've had it, but this is its first blooming, so I'm expecting like a spidery, brassica type of bloom. Just moving along here. So we have the first of our pelargoniums in bloom with lots and lots of buds coming on it. The one down there as well. They're quite messy pelargoniums, because they're beautiful flowers, but each one of these leaves will drop off one at a time, and obviously you've got to clear them all up. The exact same one that I took from a cutting is up here, but they do give you lots and lots of long-lasting blooms, and they are one of my favourites. I really love pelargoniums. I could do some more actually, because these are not particularly exciting ones, even though they are nice. I'm also going to include in the blooms Nepenthes, because to me the pictures are as good as any bloom. Again, I've not got lots and lots of wonderful varieties. I am kind of building up my collection there, but obviously everything's stopped at the moment. And this one does keep. This one was that's a newly popped picture, a little bit smaller than the others, but it's done its thing here over winter, so the summer pictures should be bigger. There's another little one down there about to pop. I'm hoping these two do eventually come. The humidity is certainly high enough. It's above 75 humidity for most of the time, and that's what people say that makes them picture. A couple of small ones at the back there. We've got the Ventrata. Again, no new pictures on that. That's kind of in suspended animation at the moment because of the cooler temperatures. This one is Ventricosa. I did cut the last of the pictures off that quite recently, but it has done a couple of big, large leaf jumps there, so hopefully that will picture up soon. The Fusca. This one seems to be sort of like a really thirsty one, this one, for some reason. But again, no new pictures beyond those. My favourite one is Gaia, or Gaia. It's Gaia, really, those to me. I keep trying to pronounce it Gaia. This has all gone red because of the sun. I did have it up in the rafters. They don't really want to be red, they want to be green, but some of the Nepenthes are quite sensitive to the sunlight. But I mean, it's certainly one heck of a picture of a plant, loads and loads of pictures. I was trying to think, that one's a new one round there, that's just popped. Again, smaller than the summer popping pictures. I'm hoping that the new growths on here, there's a couple of new growths, and we get some more pictures on there. So moving down, I did a recent video on this, Dendrobium kingianum. That is in loads of blooms here, full bloom, gorgeous plant. It's one of these that I think, if you see it on a photo, it doesn't really do it justice. It's very, very fragrant. With the naked eye, you can see it's really more purple to my eye anyway than pink, but it's supposedly the pink rock lily. And inside there on the lip, down here, you've got like a speckling of pink or purple, and then right in the very centre you've got that yellow throat. Absolutely gorgeous. So that's Dendrobium kingianum. The cyclamen are going over now. It's coming on for the summer rest. That one's lost all its blooms now, so I'm cutting down on the watering, but this one just hanging on for a little bit longer, but they'll be going under the benches soon as they have the drought period during the summertime. Moving over to another Dendrobium. This is Dendrobium berioda. Doesn't really need much introduction. It just keeps going. Absolutely fabulous. Definitely, if anybody wants to grow a Dendrobium, this is one to grow if you've never grown one before. I know it's a very popular one. It's still got tons of flowers coming there, and the Kingianum is one of its parents. So I think the other one is, I think it's pronounced Bigibum, but it does look like Bigibum. I have to say, when I'm saying it myself, I do say Bigibum. So again, just going to the star class there, you can see there's lots more buds to come. The what's this one? Stardust Firebird. Again, it's very, very slow with its growth. It's full of buds on it, but it's the fact that it's slow with the buds means that the blooms will be long lasting as well. Another spike there coming. Well, this isn't everything in spike. This is what's in bloom in March. So I can't really show that one very much. So we'll just move across here. The Masdevallia Snowbird, still in bloom, 3rd month now that's been in bloom, and the Masdevallia Ignia, still looking good. Some of these blooms beginning to kind of blacken, so if anybody knows why that happens, whether it's just the age of them, I don't know. I wouldn't have thought it was the cold. Could be the sun actually, could be sun damage, because we did have some, I had a few days of sun before I got the shading up, so maybe that's what that is. There are still some new buds to come on that, so I'm quite happy with that. Again, we're still early in the year, and I am pushing the in bloom thing a little bit. This isn't quite in bloom yet, but it's the first of my Streptocarpus. This is Pink Layla, and I have noticed again while I'm on that some of these Streptocarpus are beginning to look like they've got some kind of disease. Now I've just looked it up, and I'm thinking, if I just kind of show you down towards one that has it, can you see how it's beginning to go brown on the leaves? And there's a number like that. There's another one, certainly at the base it's going brown, and they're quite distorted, and there's another one back there, and I've looked it up, and I think it's a little mite. On Dibley's website they talk about a little mite. They call it the cyclamen mite. It has got another name to it, a Latin name to it, and I'm thinking that might be the problem. Now it does say that this mite crawls from plant to plant, it can't fly, so you've got to make sure it's isolated, and it does also say that there doesn't appear to be a chemical solution to it, at least not available commercially, you know, unless you're an actual a grower. So I'm going to give it a blast anyway with some of this Bug Clear Ultra Vine Weevil Clear. I'm going to do them all. I'm going to make sure that I water all my Streptocarpus with them. Not the new ones, obviously, but the ones that I've had for a while, and see if that clears it up. Even though they said there's no solution, I'm going to give it a go anyway. I'm not going to just throw them away. So I'll keep you updated on that. So that's the cool side. That's all what's in bloom in March, on March the 28th, in the cool side. So let's just move over to the warm side. There's a few things, again, about to. There's a Phalaenopsis about to come in bloom. The Thunbergia Brownie is in full bloom at the moment and working its way along. That's all these red flowers here. And also mingled in with that is the Diplodenia sanderi. So again, tons of buds on that. They take a while to come because once they actually open up, they're in bloom for ages. There's another big one that's about to come there. Again, pushing it a bit. We are early March. Nothing to write home about, but the Tradescantia in bloom there, little tiny thing, and another one from a cutting down there. That looks a little bit more interesting. The Epicattleya still doing its thing. Again, a long bloomer. Tons of new growth coming on that. I think I could probably need to repot that at some point. Cattleya. This is a no ID orange Cattleya. That's about to come. I should have called this everything that was about to bloom, shouldn't I? Moving over, Tradescantia, again, not in bloom, but I mean, that's as good. To me, that's as good as any bloom, that coloration on the leaf. This one is Maiden's Blush, Tradescantia Maiden's Blush. The Miltoniopsis over here, a very sad looking bloom, but really, I'm going to have to cut that off because, you know, it's at the point now that we need to try and save the plant and get rid of those blooms. I reminded myself what they look like. Definitely worth having a go at it. It's just looking dreadful. It needs some roots. I wish it would grow some. Another little Tradescantia. This is Red Jewel with a tiny little bloom on the end there. So that's it really for the greenhouse at the moment. There's lots of promise of new growth and lots of promise of new blooms. It's just a case of, I think, even another week, you know, will make all the difference. Things are coming so fast now. Oh, Nepenthes. We have some blooms on the Nepenthes. Again, nothing spectacular, but, you know, it's such a weird plant. I do think it's worth just having a little look at it. I've nothing else in bloom to kind of cross-pollinate, unfortunately, so it's kind of wasted. I might just have to chop it off and let it have a bit more vegetative growth. And the other one over here, the other Rebecca Soper, is also about to do its thing as well. So I might just chop one off and see what happens, see if there's any, you know, detectable difference between them both. So that's it for the greenhouse, and what I'm going to do next is I'll film some blooms outside in the garden and see if I can tell you anything about the plants out there. So I shall just pause this for now and I'll come back and add it on. So this is Snake's Head Fritillary, which is a bulbous herbaceous perennial, so it dies down every year. It comes in early spring and it lasts for a few weeks, and it's a real good kind of sign of spring. You can see why it's called Snake's Head Fritillary, although you can get these kind of white versions as well. And it's a martyr to red lily beetle, so you've got to really keep your eye out for the invasive red lily beetle to make sure you squish them every time it gets on there. And this is a pot of Erissimum, or perennial wallflowers, which are absolutely fabulous to keep the colour going all year round, so long as you remember to deadhead them regularly. And this is Skimmia rubella, which is another one that gives you good all round, all year kind of interest, because you have the really red buds through winter and then you have these fragrant flowers in early spring. This one is Forget Me Not, and it does exactly what it says. You certainly don't forget that you've got it, because it's very, very difficult to get rid of once you've got it, but it does give a really, really nice blue haze over the spring months. And of course we have camellia, a lot of varieties of camellia in flower now, in full bloom. Mine's a little bit later than a lot of them. I think this is just a bog standard, like a no ID one, like a sinensis one, and I mean, it is a lovely contrast with the pink and the really dark glossy green leaves. And my kind of pièce de résistance is the magnolia tree. It's not a particularly unusual variety of magnolia, but it was, believe it or not, 2 foot tall when I bought it, and I had it in a place that it didn't flower for 7 years, and then I moved it to this spot where it is now, and it just went for it. And it's a very, very old species of tree, is the magnolia, and it's pollinated, or it used to be around before flying birds got around and flying insects, so it's pollinated by a beetle, I understand. So really interesting plant. And the final thing I've got to show you today is another magnolia, a Magnolia stellata. Again, it's another one that if you do move it or you do prune it, it's kind of reluctant to flower for a few years, but this one's putting on a good show this year for me. Still plenty of buds to come, although the grey squirrels do like a good munch. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.